Welcome into another edition of the Jordy Culotta Show here on this Thursday, powered every single day by Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Remember, located in LaPlace, Louisiana. Nick Richard and Lee Carney. Our coffee every day here on the Jordy Culotta Show is provided by Metropolitan Health Group. Remember, real doctors, real solutions. Get in touch with Charlie Harvey and Jason Ramazan over at Metropolitan Health Group. You hear some new sound there coming in. Shout out to Capital City Soul, local band here in Baton Rouge. You can book them for weddings. They're on social media at Capital City Soul. Shout out to Chris Allen and his crew. Thanks for helping us out on the sound here on this Thursday morning. That'll be our intro song every day. Lots to get to. Good morning. Rivers is here. Nick's here. The full band's here. Got everybody. Lloyd's here. Katie's here.
The band back together.
How we feeling?
Feeling good.
Yeah? How you like your new spot?
I actually don't mind it as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Jordy kicked me out of my chair.
I did.
It took one day.
All it took was one day.
Yep.
It's like, this thing's awesome.
I go missing for one day.
I called Rivs in the afternoon. I was like, hey, how are you? She was like, what's up? What do you got?
He was like really, I couldn't tell what he was about to propose. He was like, hey, so I got this idea. It's kind of crazy.
We don't have to do it if you don't want to, but
that's actually how
just
he
hear
started.
me out.
So I was like, oh
Breast
my.
exams.
I was like, what is he about to propose? He's like, what if we switch spots?
It's like groundbreaking. And actually, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, right.
And so I showed up and he was in it. So I figured that had been made. That decision had been made.
Not yet quite final. I don't know what we're going to do when guests get here, but I'm definitely jacking your spot for sure.
Because you're going to have to, because like that's where guests have to sit. You know, it's the chair. It like
it
it's
just
wonderful.
opens you up.
Makes you feel like you want to talk
very
about
comfortable.
anything.
I mean, this is a therapist chair.
Yeah,
I feel like you've
very
been on a roll more with things sitting in that chair. You start talking and you start like
No, you
getting
get
in the
going.
zone.
You
I
get
kind of
You
agree.
got
I kind of agree, and I tend to shrink in this chair. I get smaller. It
Y'all
feels like
feel
I'm doing this
very
from
tiny. I asked him if we
a
put it on
squirrel hole in
risers,
an oak tree.
how his feet would feel.
Yes,
I'm
I
not
can't
sure if his
quite
feet would
reach.
fit the ground if we put him on risers.
I was tiptoeing on the couch. As Lloyd said, today is the 18th day of the month, which means our good friend Whitney Bro will be here. Today it'll be at the end of hour 2. She'll stop by and give us the latest on the Day 18 Foundation, as she'll tell you all about it. But she's a cancer survivor, a breast cancer survivor, and urges all women on the 18th day of each month to give a self-examination breast exam just to check for lumps. And she'll tell you all about it coming up here at 8:30. I know that you and Whitney have talked a lot about this, and this is something that we're
she's been
very
doing this for
excited
a
to be a
while,
partner
and it's
on.
wonderful. And I think she has a lot of cool stuff planned, so I'm excited to get her in here. About it.
I'm looking forward to the conversation coming up here at 7:30 this morning, and shout out to our listeners as they put us on Duck Camp Dinners, which is on YouTube. The production's fantastic. I kind of fell into a hole yesterday just looking and seeing some of the stuff we could steal from Jean Paul Bourgeois. I mean, like,
you got inspired.
His production level is fantastic. He's got a great website. He's a Louisiana native. He's living in New York right now, but he's actually packing up and moving down south. He doesn't know where, but he's just coming back down south.
Have we got an answer as to like why? Is he just miss it? Is he tired of?
Sounds like he's gotten He's gotten everything out of New York. I mean, he's kind of had the New York experience. He's built the network. He's built the brand. But at heart, he's a Southerner. I mean,
everything he's doing seems virtual at this point.
Yes.
So you can kind of do that from anywhere.
Yes, it is. It's something that we'll learn more about and talk to him about. He and I had a great conversation yesterday. Hopefully, he can become somewhat of a regular here on the Jordy Culotta Show, and we can kind of start to cross-promote and use one another's platform. But Jean Paul Bourgeois will be here at 7:30 this morning. LSU Baseball yesterday got the news that opening weekend was being pushed around again. The game on Friday, originally scheduled for 7 o'clock versus Air Force, was moved earlier this week to a 4 o'clock start time on Friday. That now has been postponed until Saturday. Ugh. So the LSU game versus Air Force will be going off now Saturday at 1 o'clock due to the weather that came through this week and even the continued rainstorms here in Baton Rouge.
12 p.m. Right?
So it's going to be 12.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's 1 Eastern. 12 o'clock Central.
Get in the right time zone
on Saturday. Not our specialty here.
It's not.
And then then LSU will face Louisiana Tech 6:30 on Monday. We will talk to Eddie Smith, who is their hitting coach, Tigers hitting coach. Just 3 weeks on the job last week before last season before the year was canceled due to the pandemic. So Eddie has not had a chance to really get settled in to the on-the-field baseball stuff, the action. He's settled into the community. He's settled in to being the hitting coach for LSU Baseball, but he's only seen about 3 weeks of games in uniform for the Tigers. So we'll talk to him about what he anticipates coming up this season. And a lot of people are asking about the power in this lineup. Where's the pop? We'll ask Eddie as he is the hitting coach coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning. Whitney Bro will be here at the end of the second hour. No Megan making money here on this Thursday. Gave her the week off, and she'll be back with us next week as we start to preview March in college basketball.
You said power, and all of a sudden in my head, I don't know, I guess I wasn't listening. And all of a sudden I was like, is the power going out? What are we doing?
No, we're good.
We got power. We got power.
Bunker is warm. Bunker has has water. I'm good, man. I think we're past the cold weather. No?
35 degrees outside.
But I mean, like the freezing.
I think we've seen the worst.
We've seen the worst of it, right? I mean, like the slipping on ice when you go outside.
The pipes bursting.
The pipes bursting, which was a total. I mean, that was just the worst experience of cold weather that I've had, without question.
Lloyd put something in the document yesterday that we didn't get to. But you're like, what did I put in the document?
I did.
Mystery crate. But he said something like, what will future generations do when the power goes out? Like, we're barely figuring it out. Yeah. Like, what's Estelle going to do when her power, like, it's just going to be such a strange thing. And honestly, when our power did go out for a few hours, she
freaked out.
Yeah. You know, she's little, so.
Sure.
Yeah. But still, like, I just feel like we didn't even know what to do. You didn't know to turn the water on.
Thank you, Rivers. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
All that is just to throw you under the bus.
As we circle back to the pipes.
It's a long con.
As we get right back to the pipes there, right?
All that is to say.
It's a good question because still, I mean, I'm still lighting candles when the electricity goes out. I mean, I still don't know what to do. I use up all the battery of my iPhone on the
flashlight.
Flashlight. I mean,
what's next? The lantern and a candle.
When did you buy that? When did you buy that flashlight? Probably like 10 years ago.
I'm saying I use my iPhone flashlight. The next thing you know, I got no batteries to do anything.
Yeah.
You got to jump in your car.
How did we not know that yesterday was Michael Jordan's birthday?
I don't know. I didn't see it until we left.
Michael Jordan's birthday. So check out this day, February 17th. Give me another day that celebrates athletes or superstars like this. Lloyd might have one, but February 17th is Michael Jordan's birthday, Jim Brown's birthday, and Devin White's birthday.
It's a good day.
Where's Jim Brown's argument for greatest NFL player of all time? Where's he at?
Look at the tape.
Where's he at?
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, like, this is generational.
Yeah.
So for this room, we wouldn't recognize that because nobody saw him play in person.
Right.
All we've seen is the film, and he looks great. I mean, he looks as dominant. He looks as dominant as everybody says he was when they saw him. But I saw Walter Payton play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw Joe Montana and Jerry Rice play. I saw Dan Marino. I saw John Elway. I saw those guys with my own eyes. So I think all that stuff's generational. I remember we always used to fight. A great childhood friend of mine, Russ Carpenter, who I grew up with. His dad is a sports fanatic of his generation.
Right.
And when we were 18 to 25 years old, every time I would see Big John Carpenter, all we would debate was Wilt and Shaq.
Yeah.
Wilt and Shaq. And I mean, I would say there's no way he could be any better than Shaq. How can you be any better than Shaq was? And he would always say that Shaq couldn't guard him in the post. He had too many moves. He was too graceful around the rim. And I just never bought it. But I think that taught me during that time that you'll never really win generational arguments with people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so the way that I settle those arguments is that Jim Brown was the best player of his generation.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, I think, is the only one that crosses over into an argument. I still think that there have people out there that debate LeBron and Mike that are LeBron generational fans.
They are alive and well.
It's called First Take. I mean,
right. Yeah. It's like we need to fill 30 minutes.
But I think Lloyd, I don't know. I think Lloyd's day that he came up with might be better.
We got December 30th. We got one LeBron, Ramon James, Tiger Woods, and then the kicker, Eldrick. My mother, December 30th.
and your mom.
Wow. I mean, that's two heavy hitters.
That's two.
I mean, that is
three heavy hitters.
Yeah, my bad. Well, I was talking about your mom and Tiger, right? I mean,
brought out of
But I just think the Devin White local, the fact that he's born on the same day as Michael Jordan and Jim Brown is incredible,
man. He loved that growing up.
Got to have.
I mean, do you share a birthday with? I share a birthday with someone I love. Do you?
I'm thinking about it. Who's yours?
Mine's Aaliyah. R.I.P.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Estelle's birthday is the day before mine. She just came in and really stole my birthday out from under me. She shares a birthday with Drew Brees and Martin Luther King.
Okay, well, that's a pretty powerful day.
Very cultural.
Yeah, that is.
I just Googled famous birthdays, and I don't know a single one of these people.
Wow.
The number one, Cash Baker, 17, pop singer. I'm more famous than Cash Baker.
I share with Andy Cohen
and
Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show.
R.I.P. Beetlejuice.
I am Googling October 6th birthdays right now. All I have that came back was David Hidalgo, rock singer from Los Lobos.
Nice. Can we get some Los Lobos up in here? Some very...
What is Los Lobos? So, I mean, what does that even... What's the group?
Aren't they like kind of...
Yeah?
Santana-y?
Oh, Los Lobos saved the one song. Don't they have that one song?
Sing it for us.
No, I'm just saying.
You're up.
You're up. Is LeBron's middle name really Ramon?
Mm-hmm. Is it really?
Yeah.
Katie, what's your birthday?
October 23rd. I'll share it with Pele. That's the only thing.
Pele.
Katie's October 23rd shares it with Pele, the famous soccer player.
Patrick Kimmery said, my sister and her daughter and her daughter's dad all have the same birthday.
Wow. So my mom is a twin, so obviously her and her sister share the same birthday on Valentine's Day. And then my sister, Anna Catherine, who's actually, I never term it like this, but I mean, legally, she's my half-sister. Was born with my dad's second marriage, or however you say that. We don't share the same mom.
Get the lawyers involved.
Right. And she was born on February 14th as well.
Wild.
I mean, it was crazy. Yeah, it's just a wild day. All right, so some sports stuff to get to. I'm looking forward to talking to Eddie Smith coming up here at 8 o'clock, LSU hitting coach, diving into the lineup. So many options, it feels like Smith, Maneri, the crew have this season, whether it be the competition at outfield, the competition on the left side of the infield, and where those guys stack up in the batting order. I mean, who you have to have on the field to make sure his bat is in play. As we told you, the LSU baseball update real quick. Game on Friday has been postponed until Saturday as they will now play. Is it going to be a doubleheader on Saturday?
No. They're doing Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Okay, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So Saturday's game will start at 1 o'clock, noon on Sunday, and then 6:30 on Monday.
Because I think there was a game. I think there was a game on Tuesday that they have moved now to March 3rd.
Okay.
So they moved the schedule for next week around so that they could do the Monday game.
Yeah, here it is right here. In addition, the Southern at LSU game, originally scheduled for Tuesday, February 23rd, has been moved to March 3rd. Like Riv said, that'll be a 6:30 first pitch now over at Alec Box Stadium. So we'll talk LSU baseball opening weekend with Coach Eddie Smith coming up here. Also want to talk a little bit about LSU basketball. Was texting back and forth with the head coach Will Wade yesterday afternoon after they got the news on the delay that the SEC had announced that all basketball games today, including LSU and Ole Miss, which had been which had been moved up from 7 o'clock to 4 o'clock, or it was originally scheduled to play last night. They moved it to 4 o'clock today. That game will no longer happen. It's been postponed, and it feels like it's not going to happen.
I was going to ask. I mean, they say postponed.
I mean, we're at the end of the conference schedule.
Yeah,
I just don't know where you fit it in before the conference tournament.
But you did need this game.
Yes. I mean, that's not only did they need the game just from the algorithm of March.
Right. And that's where my brain is.
They needed the game because they were playing right.
Right.
They were playing confident.
They need to keep this
they needed to roll that thing out there and keep playing. And not to say that the week off and getting back to work on Saturday, because the game is happening on Saturday. Auburn will be in town, 3 o'clock. That'll be on ESPN. Game will be in Baton Rouge at the Maravich Center. And in talking to Coach Wade, it seems like they've had a really good week of practice. It seems like they've been able to carry on the momentum of how they played against Mississippi State, how they played against Tennessee, how they can continue to improve. Remember, we talked a little bit about the special teams angle of LSU basketball. They've been able to execute now on inbound plays, whether it be under the goal or side out of bounds. I mean, you could tell a lot of coaching, a lot of development is happening throughout the last couple of weeks after those struggles, after that patch where it looked like, I don't know if they're going to be able to play the way out of this thing, man. I don't know if they're going to be able to get right and even get into March. But the latest ESPN has Jerry Palm.
I'm so sorry.
Are you good?
Yours is
You good?
dying over here.
I mean, I'm kind of like talking like I'm like trying not to breathe, keep talking.
Yeah,
So
it's like, I was going like,
get it, just get it.
I'm just gonna.
No, just get it. No, we need it. Go ahead. Cough it out. It's all good.
It's like it tickles. You know, it's like, and I can't. I keep trying to drink
you
to
can't get rid
like.
of it. Yeah.
I got it.
I think we're good.
How we feeling now?
I think we're
You want
good.
water?
Yes.
Here we go.
Sorry, it was just. It was.
You're not contagious,
yeah,
are you,
I don't
bro?
know. I don't know. We're in COVID times. Let's not-
Breaking all the protocols.
All right, I'm just trying to help. Just trying to help.
I do appreciate
Just trying to
that.
help. Just trying to help.
It's like I got
Keep your
something
water.
that's stuck, and like I was like I could do it like a tiny one. You know?
That's so uncomfortable when
I
you're
know.
live and you know people are looking
I was like,
at
maybe
you.
he's
and
gonna
they're
go to
like,
break soon, but then I knew you weren't. I could hear it in your voice.
I'm talking about LSU
So, Ribs, you think
basketball,
LSU's an 8 seed? The latest, Joe Lunardi has them in bracketology, has LSU as an 8 seed. 3 weeks ago, I didn't know where they're going to be, man. You know what I mean? They're like 11 seed on the bubble, and they're playing more consistent, and they're playing right. That's why I wanted to see them roll that thing out either last night or today at the Pavilion versus Ole Miss, because their confidence was right, just to get out there and run. Just go play.
And I think it was evident how confident they were that he was trying so hard to get a game scheduled. He wanted to go play, and if we weren't looking right, he would have been like, you know what? Not a bad time to take a week off.
Not only that North Carolina thing was this close.
That would have been really cool. Although I guess North Carolina's not that great right now.
But it's all right. I mean, who
But
cares?
still,
Just
it's like
go
just
up there,
playing
go
in
to the
the-
Dean Dome,
Yes.
have the purple and gold with the backdrop of the baby blue. Like,
And get a win.
I think I have a photo.
Go play that game in February.
I think my dad snuck us in there one time. And I have a picture of me standing
Empty?
on the court. Yeah.
Nice. Your dad's ability to get into it. I mean, like, did he get into Notre Dame Stadium? I think Notre Dame. No? Was that somebody else? Because Notre Dame Stadium is supposedly like impossible to
But
get into.
I wouldn't put it past him.
And he
He's
seems like the
just-
type of guy
he's
that could
the
get
kinda
that
guy
done.
that,
The
like-
move is to-
and he's also very lucky. He's like that guy that if you like buy a raffle ticket or whatever, you just go ahead and give him the prize. You know,
He's a big dude. He's got that presence to him. He's almost one of those guys, and he's got a personality
Wow,
where
you're an
he's,
angel.
Little bravado.
yeah, he'll talk a little bit. So I mean, you're like, hey, man,
he's very charismatic.
big wrester, come in here.
He's
He's
very
usually got
charismatic.
cool shoes on, cool T-shirt. You know, you're kind of like, all right, I can vibe with
He
this
can
guy.
talk about anything. So you know, he's gonna get his way in.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Bummer for LSU basketball that they got washed out with the
Are they gonna
with
end
the
up playing
weather.
Gonzaga?
Yeah, right.
Almost more of my Gonzaga shirt today, just because.
Baylor, Gonzaga, whoever they want to play next.
I
But
don't know if we would have thrown a mid-major.
Well, I mean, that's who they're probably gonna end up playing in the tournament.
well, if you want to win it,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
take
mean.
that
If you
one
wanna win
seed
that
for
thing.
us.
Look, I'm giving LSU some credit here. You know, I think they'll make it to Gonzaga.
they got to get through Auburn on Saturday first. They got to get through the rest of March, or excuse me, through the rest of February to get to March. And like I said, you can tell they're starting to play right. They're starting to get their confidence in the right spot. So hopefully that doesn't slip as they will have this week off, as this Ole Miss game is not going to happen. It was postponed. Daily, we're brought to you by Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Remember, get in touch with Lee Carney, Nick Richard, the entire crew down there. In fact, Michael Divinity's down there selling cars, so if you want to stop in and see him down in LaPlace, it's easy right off the exit of I-10. If you're coming to Baton Rouge from New Orleans, if you're headed south from Baton Rouge or from anywhere on this side of it, Lafayette, if you want to stop in and see Nick, Lee, and the crew, do it. Online there at Go Chevrolet, GEAUX, Chevrolet.com. In 10 minutes, we will talk to local chef. He is living up in New York City from Thibodaux. Very Louisiana proud. He is the host of Duck Camp Dinners that you can catch on YouTube. Has done an excellent job of branding and marketing who he is. We will talk to Jean Paul Bourgeois coming up in 10 minutes here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, your questions, we will answer them at 8:15 this morning or throughout the second hour. If you want to jump inside of the bunker now and just drop the hashtag, Ask the Jordy Culotta Show, Ask the JC Show, we will have that done for you, and we'll answer your questions coming up in the second hour today. You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show, powered by Go Chevrolet, right here on YouTube. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers. All over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. Can you be assured that the air and surfaces in your home are clean, sanitized, and safe for you and your entire family? You can now by logging on to valera.com/Jordy Culotta, where you, your home, your office, your family can be protected 24/7 with Active Pure technology. This NASA-based science has proven 99.9% reduction of airborne SARS-2 and COVID-19 virus in just 3 minutes. Log on now to valera.com/Jordy Culotta.
The Jordy Culotta Show merchandise site is live. Shirts, hats, and even swag for the children is available at jordy.itemorder.com. That's jordy.itemorder.com.
I need
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented every day by Go Chevrolet, online at geauxchevrolet.com. Remember, if you're on YouTube, we appreciate all the interaction. We love that. The comments, the likes,
really helps.
the shares. The dislikes are cool too, man.
Yeah,
It's
no,
all good.
any interaction there. So, thumbs up. I mean, you can also give us the thumbs down, but the thumbs up tricks the algorithm into thinking that you like our content.
We like
if you don't.
tricks.
So go ahead and hit the thumbs up.
The watch time, even if you're hate watching us, man, just keep doing it.
Keep hate watching it.
That helps.
We got a
us.
few of those.
YouTube loves every second of watch time.
Jean Paul Bourgeois coming up here in about 8 minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show. What a great Louisiana name as he's up in New York City representing. We'll talk to him about the move back down south that he's packing up the U-Haul for. Doesn't yet have the destination. I was like, bro,
That's cool.
I was like, when you get back home, we gotta like get together. He's like, well, I didn't say I was coming home. I just said I was coming to the South. I was like, wow,
That's a no kids move.
All right,
I've
yeah,
ever
that
seen
is.
one.
That is definitely a no kids
Sounds
move.
great.
We were talking a little bit about LSU basketball. Tigers washed out today versus Ole Miss. That was supposed to happen down in Oxford at the Pavilion. Not going to happen. All SEC basketball games have been postponed here on this Thursday. They did have a couple of games last night. I saw Kentucky beat Vanderbilt. Kentucky's first 2-game win streak of the season. Say that out loud.
How
about that?
Makes me
When's the
feel
last time that
bad.
happened?
I mean, seriously, I have no idea. When is the last time that happened? I mean, when's the last time that they have not had a winning streak in the season? We're on, what, February 18th? They just got their first 2-game back-to-back wins of the year. That's crazy.
The situation with the Blue Bloods this year is just nuts.
It's nuts.
I mean, it's the first time since, like, the 60s that these teams have not been, like, all higher up. That's
Every one of them. Say them out loud. I mean, Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, North Carolina, none of them are anywhere to be found as having any relevance and any impact on this season's tournament. Gonzaga clearly looks like the best. I mean, Gonzaga, when they play right, I mean, I don't know if you've seen them play for an extended amount of time.
They are.
Oh, it is them.
But when they
It's
get
them.
going, they're a G League team.
Well,
Yeah.
You know
so,
what I
like,
mean?
That was
It's
my
them.
question during the break. So let's play this out. LSU doesn't play this game, obviously. It's not postponed. We just don't play it. And they went out. They do like best possible scenario here. They went out.
Pull the schedule real quick.
Previous
Yeah, I
run?
have it up. Yeah. So
Let's
we
see.
have
You got Auburn
Auburn,
Saturday.
Georgia, Arkansas, Vandy.
Arkansas is going to be the toughest one
Yeah.
left.
So let's say we went out here.
Watch out for
Where's the
muscle
Arkansas
man.
game?
I'm
Where's
saying we.
Where's the Arkansas game?
Arkansas is at Arkansas.
At Arkansas.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, at Arkansas.
In Fayetteville? Mm-hmm. Did you hear that, Katie? When she was referencing
I
LSU?
don't-
We?
I just meant we as a
Only a matter of time over there, business lady.
Let me be clear.
Only a matter of time.
Let me be clear. I meant we as a collective. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about
Gotcha.
this.
Gotcha. Continue.
So we watch LSU win out.
right.
And then they're what, 8-9 seed? And which seems like a worst case
What seed
scenario.
are we?
If they went out. If they went out.
They have to
win
win out. That Arkansas
So maybe
game is
they
going to be
don't win
massive.
out.
Yeah, no, that's
Massive
that's-
on because it's going to go a long way in the eyes of the committee. Both those teams are tied for second. I know that the road wins don't mean as much in 2020, 2021 as they have in years past, but still going to play a good team on their floor with stuff on the line in late February means something to the committee. I mean, that is going to go a long way if you go in and win that game. If they do, they win out and they do something in the tournament, in the conference tournament. Win a game, win 2 games, just as long as you don't go there and get bounced.
Yeah.
Right? 8 seeds makes sense.
Well, then, so let's say you
I don't
want
wanna
to
be an-
You're going to end up playing Gonzaga.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you're gonna. I mean,
you're gonna have to-
Gonzaga is going to be the number
But I
one
mean,
seed.
like,
I mean, Gonzaga is going to be the number 1 overall seed of the tournament.
Eventually, yes, but like you're going to have to play them quicker.
What year was LSU? So the year that we referenced the last time that they played North Carolina, LSU played North Carolina. North Carolina that season, that was 2008, I believe that happened because North Carolina won the national championship that season, and they were the number 1 overall seed in that tournament. LSU got to them in the 3rd round. They beat Butler in the 1st round.
March 09.
And Butler went to the Final Four the next year. That was that Butler team that was kind of Gordon Hayward,
yeah.
and those guys that were coming on. And LSU with Tasman, Garrett, Chris Johnson, some of the residual guys from the Final Four team beat the hell out of Butler in, I believe, the opening round. And then they ran into that North Carolina team in the round of 32, and that was the toughest game that North Carolina had the entire tournament. I mean, that was as pressed as they've had. What do you know what seed they were?
They were a 1 seed.
No, LSU.
8.
See, so
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
I got the stats right.
yeah, if you're, I mean, it will. I mean
Yeah.
that was the round of 32. That was the 2nd round.
Yeah.
that they
Well, that's
played
what I
them.
mean. You're going to have to play them quicker.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe
but-
you want to.
But it would all depend on the draw too. I mean,
Yeah.
what region you're in. I
Yeah.
mean, as long as you don't, that was a bad draw
Yeah.
for that LSU team to be in the same region as the number 1 overall seed in North Carolina. But geographically,
Who else is
it
gonna
makes
be
it
one
makes a little
seeds?
seed. Baylor would be a
Baylor.
1
Baylor,
seed.
Gonzaga.
Tennessee might be not
Alabama?
Maybe Alabama. It depends on who wins the conference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And who was I watching the other night that was playing really good? Was it West Virginia? I don't want to say that out loud, but Gonzaga and Baylor are the best 2 teams.
Right.
Yeah.
As far as the draw goes, geographically in 08, 09, it made more sense just because North Carolina, Louisiana, you could put
Right.
them in the same quad. You could put them in the same pod. Now that Gonzaga is in the far Pacific Northwest,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that the tournament's all going to be consolidated to one playing site, but it still is going to be broken down in regions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to break it down the same way.
And I can't see LSU as an
maybe
8
Baylor?
seed going to the West.
No.
Maybe. They might be in Baylor's region.
Yeah.
The way they have it, we're in Region 1 with Gonzaga, 8 seed. So it's 8,
that's
9,
what I was seeing.
then
That's why I keep saying
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
The top 4 seeds, Gonzaga. This is all conjecture, obviously. It's nothing set in stone. Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, and Ohio State.
So let's see. Stephen Miller inside of the bunker says, Jordy, I don't see enough meat on the bone left for LSU to jump to a 7 seed unless they get to Sunday of the SEC tournament. Yeah, I think it would take a championship game.
Yeah.
You got to make a run.
Just to get to the championship game would make some sense. If they win it, they could possibly jump if they win that tournament. But yeah, I mean, Michigan is going to be a top seed. Juwan Howard's done an incredible job of just kind of changing it up there real quick in Ann Arbor. Not to say that he had a tough task behind John Beilein, because Beilein was very successful, and just maintaining that success has been very impressive. We'll talk more about basketball. We'll talk more about March. Daily, we're brought to you by Lanoix Insurance Agency, LANOIX agency.com. Get in touch with Randy, Brian, and David, our guys, our friends, man. This is personal testimony here from the Jordy Culotta Show. Rivs and her house insurance or home insurance goes through Lanoix Insurance. She shifted when they bought a house just over a year and a half ago. Very easy process. 749-5640.
I think I was getting a blowout, and I sent BG a text message, and he was like, "I got it."
That's right.
Like, it was that easy.
It is that easy. I mean, it really is. You can
someone was
text
doing my
him.
hair, and I'm texting him, and it's done.
I love that. I mean, that's how we communicate. And I know that I'm not the only one he communicates with that. Like, you can send him a text at 6 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, and everywhere in between, he's going to answer it and get it done for you. David and Randy are the same way. Online at LANOIX agency.com. Looking forward to our next guest, Jean Paul Bourgeois from Thibodaux, Louisiana, now up in New York, heading back down south. We'll get his story next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers, all over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Go Chevrolet is under new management, but it's the same old familiar names that you know here from the area. Lee Carney and Nick Richard are up and running in LaPlace, Louisiana, and they want you to stop in today. But if you can't, they'll make it easy for you. They'll come to you. Log online to GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUXChevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet is conveniently located on Airline Highway in La Place, Louisiana. Shop all the inventory, whether it's new or pre-owned, at GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUXChevrolet.com. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show.
Hey.
You want to give one of them coughs into that microphone, see if we're hot? Rolling on here on this Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. We're bummed that there's no SEC basketball today. I'm bummed more for Willie Wade and his crew. I'd love to see them tip it off against Ole Miss today to see if they can get another quad one win here in February. It's not going to happen, though. That game's been postponed. It'll be played, I don't know when they'll play this game or even if they will make it up, but they will play on Saturday versus Auburn. Jean Paul Bourgeois, about 10 minutes out on his voicemail's awesome, too. I called him once. He didn't answer. Called him right back. He answered the second time.
Do you think there's a more like chef name than Jean Paul Bourgeois?
Jean Paul Bourgeois.
Like he had no choice what to do.
I can't imagine a better name to represent
Emerald?
South Louisiana
Yeah,
in New York
it's perfect.
City.
It's perfect.
I mean, my first question is, how many times have you been called Jean Paul Bourgeois?
Bourgeois.
You know what I mean? Bourgeois
Bourgeois.
in New York City. We'll ask him that coming up here in a couple of minutes. But as we said here, coming up on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's the 18th day of the month. We'll talk to Whitney Bro, who is a great friend of our show, and we're looking forward to partnering up here in a couple of weeks and bringing some new content here to the Jordy Culotta Show and the YouTube station. She will be here at the end of hour number 2. On every 18th day of the month, she will have some sort of presence on this show, just to remind our listeners that she is a cancer survivor. She's not going to tell you that, but she is a cancer survivor, and she is encouraging everyone with her Day 18 Foundation that she started for all the women out there to get...
it's not just for women. I mean, men can get breast cancer as well. So, I mean, I know it's whatever, but I mean, you should be doing self-examinations.
Yes, and Whitney will tell us all about that coming up here at 8:45 this morning. We'll also talk to Eddie Smith, who is the LSU Baseball hitting coach, as Eddie will be here at 8 o'clock this morning and give us a little tidbit on the offseason, the extended offseason that LSU Baseball has experienced here, and what his expectations are for some of these new faces in the lineup, whether it's a guy like Dylan Cruz, who comes in very highly heralded out of Florida, first-round pick type talent that told Major League Baseball, no, I'm going to play college baseball for a couple of seasons. He's at LSU. Where does he fit into the lineup? Trey Morgan was a name that we heard about. Cade Beloso's lost some weight going into another year.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, they're moving him from first base to the outfield.
Oh, look at
I
that.
think it's just the beard.
With a ton of guys
Trick,
and the
classic
facial
guy
hair.
trick, yeah.
We'll see where Eddie stands with the facial hair rule.
I can't wait to see everyone's facial hair.
Yes.
Because, now that you can do it, everyone has to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. This
How
is
do you
your
power
opportunity.
rank your facial hair? Like, what's your favorite?
I don't know. Well, I'm a little nervous for these guys.
Are you a full beard, or are you like kind of like the
I'll tell you what I'm
landscaped,
not.
the landscaped
I'll tell you what I'm not.
manscaped to the face?
I'll tell you what I'm not, and I've told him
Working
this,
it.
and I've told him this. I'm not whatever Terrio has on his face.
I'm not.
That's
first
very
round.
baseballish.
Yes, which is what I feel like we're going to get a lot
Yeah,
of.
Terry is very.
It's
He's got the
this-
baseball facial hair.
Also reminds me, did anyone see the picture Jacob Hester put out of his, I guess it was him sitting at the table when he made his
He's talking about on
decision?
National Signing Day.
The soul
Oh
patch.
yeah, the little
Soul
little flavor
patch,
saver.
and he had the shells.
I was about to say,
Yeah, puka
honestly,
shell necklace,
I
bro.
didn't
Puka shell
notice,
necklace.
I didn't notice the facial hair because I was so distracted by
Sure.
his 3 puka shell necklaces.
Even the shirt was very
American Eagle,
affliction
for sure.
Yes, he had the
You
know?
affliction shirt
The
on.
affliction, the puka cell,
It-
flavor
but
saver.
it wasn't
Ideal
affliction.
combo.
It was American Eagle, which I'm sure
Nothing
Sam
screams
was,
Evangel like that 3-pack.
And him being 22 years old.
That's almost like a starter pack at Evangel. Grab your puka shells here, grab your flannel shirt, affliction there, and let that barber dress up your facial hair for us real quick.
doing.
Now get out there and go win us some state championships.
So that is what I'm not into. So that is at the bottom of my power ranking. But just like sort of I think what I think looks best is just like a 2 or 3 day
Little scruff.
Scruff.
rough is at the top of my power
Scruff.
ranking.
Full beard?
Where's a straight up stash for you? Where's that at?
Let me know.
I think
Glory just
stash
patiently
actually
waiting.
is pretty high, only in that it's impressive. They're usually pretty weird looking, But if you can do it and you can do it
Yes.
right,
Bro, yeah,
that's
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
Eddie Bonine. Eddie Bonine, the LHSAA executive director.
Oh.
Google him.
Yeah.
He's got the best crumb catcher I've ever seen. I mean, his mustache is mafioso.
I think mustache
Like he
should
walks
be
into the
its own
room and
thing.
you want to salute his mustache. You know what I mean?
I think mustache should be its own category. Like, I don't even think we should include it in facial hair. It should have its own, like,
Yeah.
mustache power
yeah,
ranking.
yeah, I agree.
You know, but
Yeah.
like handlebar, like
yes.
you know,
Right,
The problem you're going to start running into with these guys is they've never really been able to grow facial hair because they
Yes.
haven't been allowed to, so they don't really know what they're working with.
Well, that's
yet.
the issue. I think that's the issue
Is it
with
going to be
facial
a
hair
little
guy.
patchy?
That was
Right?
me going. If you saw your boy in 2017,
Nick, you're crossing over.
You
You're
are
starting to
crossing.
fill
Yeah,
out.
got the full
You're
beard.
starting to
but,
fill out.
Yeah, I shaved it for drum major auditions and
Yes.
then just got back into it. But if you saw me in 17, I went to private school my whole life, so I never
We're allowed
grew up
to,
in
yeah.
there. So I showed up, rolled up on campus at LSU in August of 2017 with the sideburns, right, and then the little patch on it.
Yes.
And I got evidence.
Just
But,
growing
like,
everything you could.
I know, yeah.
Just
I was
everything you
going for
could.
it,
I
bro.
mean, just almost shampooing and conditioning the face.
Because I had never done it before, so I was
Yeah.
like, you know what, let's
Let's
do
do it.
So
Yeah,
I've
we
had
got
I've had
here.
a beard since I was 13.
Really?
I mean, I've had
Jordy shaves
a legitimate.
in the
I mean, if you
morning.
look at Lil J, right now, if you catch him from the side on some light, you can catch his. I mean, he's starting to get a
Whiskers
little
are
bit of a
coming in.
mustache. In 8th grade, I had like the full mustache. Like I could grow it. And as soon as you feel like you can do that, the thing you want to do is shave, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as you shave it, that intensifies it, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
it's starting
yeah,
to come
every
back
time.
now. It's coming back with a vengeance. By the time I had gotten to Catholic high school my freshman year, I mean, I was sprouting out all over. I mean, I could grow a full goatee at 14, like a thick goatee. By the time I was probably 15, I mean, this stuff was starting to fill out.
Yeah.
At Catholic High, that don't fly.
No,
that ain't
no.
gonna fly.
Same as
you know
St.
what I mean?
Paul's,
Like
yeah.
they don't like shoes untied, shirts untucked, not being on time, and facial hair.
That's
they ain't down with that stuff.
that was-
Shoehorned to
I
facial
checked
hair.
every box.
That was my
You know what I
school
mean?
experience as
I
well.
like to wear tennis shoes. I don't tuck my stuff in. I'm a little late every now and again, and I got facial
I
hair.
was about to say, I think somebody the other day, I can't remember who, or maybe I just don't want to, put names out there.
Sure.
They said they remember the day you got kicked out of.
I prefer to ask to leave.
I
I don't know if it was
They said
I don't know if
they
it
were
was
at
an
their
expulsion.
They were at their locker and you were being walked out. And I was like, well, what was the deal? And he was like, well, he was late. I was like, they kicked him out for being late that day. He was like, not that day.
Yes.
Like every day.
It was a habit. It was a habit. As soon as I got my license, I wanted to
Every day.
stop everywhere but school.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wanted to do everything but get to school on time. I
get
mean,
it.
stop and get an icy, stop and get a breakfast
it.
sandwich.
Soak it in, bro.
Breakfast sandwich.
And Joe LeBlanc, who's the disciplinarian who I actually refereed a basketball game with last Tuesday night. And when I walked in the gym, I had this look on me, and he put his hands in his head, just started shaking his head. He was the disciplinarian at Catholic High, and it finally got to a point where he handed me like a Bic, like a dry Bic razor,
Yeah.
and said, "Get your ass in that bathroom and come out with a clean face."
They would do that at my
And
high
I
school.
can't.
they
I
did that at
mean, bro,
Bedard, too.
the neck just raw.
Raw dogging it.
I mean, just the razor burn that I experienced from that. I mean, it was like it was like catching and pulling the hair.
Yeah,
Right.
off
Oh,
it,
gross.
right, yeah. Just like
You're not
Jordy,
shaving,
like, I
you're
feel like your
removing.
face, you would have done that, and then by the time you left school, you probably would have
5 o'clock
already
shadow, like
Yeah.
legit
Yeah.
5 o'clock
Right,
shadow. I mean,
right.
if I
What are you gonna
if I
do?
decided I'm gonna shave every day and keep it clean, I would have to shave in the morning and at night. Like to keep it clean,
my God.
because if I shaved this morning and woke up tomorrow and didn't shave by 11 o'clock,
You got a
I would
thing.
have like a spike.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? And if I like hugged you or caught your face, it would like
be like,
it cut you.
We could do a whole
Yeah.
show on facial hair.
Manscape, get at us. Jean Paul Bourgeois next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, Give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers. All over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com.
You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show with Rivers Huey, presented by Go Chevrolet.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered every single day by Go Chevrolet. Remember, hit them online at geauxchevrolet.com. Excited to announce a partnership for our March Madness brackets coming up. Be telling you all about that. But shout out to Just Winging It. And we got some giveaways coming up on Friday. We will shoot for a $250 gift card from Harper's Haberdashery. As you see Sam's fat face on our basketball goal right here in the studio. Shout out to Harper's over there in the Highland Road Shopping Center. We have been looking forward to this next guest here, and we got to give a shout out to our listeners as they put us on the guy, Jean Paul Bourgeois, who is a Thibodaux native living up in New York City, who has he's the host of Duck Camp Diners, which on YouTube, we fell into a hole last night. The production is excellent. His website is incredible. He is a Louisiana native living up in New York City. How many times have you been called Jean Paul Bourgeois?
Good morning, Jordy. Good morning, Baton Rouge, man. Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, look, Jean Paul Bourgeois. You know, I've heard it. Jean, John, Bourgeois.
Oh.
You know, it's pretty funny. It's like actually here in New York, there's so many different nationalities that speak French, whether you're Jamaican or Trinidadian or from the lesser islands, and they say it perfectly. And I'm like, I moved to New York, and it says people say it perfectly, but you know, it's like Louisiana, New York, and Canada kind of can pronounce my name right, but you got it perfect there.
It's great to talk to you. Thank you for joining our show. And just falling into a hole last night of what you have going on and how you have branded the chef, the outdoorsman, now up in New York City, is a lot of the stuff that we're trying to do down here. So first and foremost, I love your work. Can you just tell our listeners a little bit about your story and how you started shucking oysters in Thibodaux, and now you're a world famous chef in New York City?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short because it has been a roller coaster and a long one at that. So yeah, born and raised in South Louisiana, Thibodaux, Louisiana, for the most part. Went to John Paul's Culinary Institute there at Nichols, got my 4-year degree there. Did an exchange program in Lyon, France, and that's what kind of just fed my my hunger to want to move and just see different things. I didn't didn't want to move out of Louisiana. I just wanted to see other things. And so I moved to California for a year and a half and worked in restaurants there. I lived in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands for about 14 months then after that. And then I was in New York, and I've been in New York for 12 years. And as it happens to be, in 2 weeks, we're moving from New York, my wife and I. In combined years, we have over 20 years of combined years here in New York. So it's been a heck of a ride. I was a chef at a number of different restaurants here, ran a couple different businesses here. And then about a year and a half ago, I left to really pursue telling my story of food and culture through a different lens, and not the lens of a restaurant community where you go and sit and order and eat, but through the lens of a video lens. And that's where we get to Duck Camp Dinners, which is my latest project.
And through that, now I was talking to you yesterday, and you were talking about you're packing up and moving. And you were talking about moving down south, and I'm like, yeah, man, when you get home, we got to get together. We got to talk. And you're like, well, I didn't say I was moving home, bro. What is the next move for you like? What is it like to get back down south? How are you making this decision?
Well, man, it's been a heck of a decision trying to make, and we haven't quite gotten there yet. So what my wife and I are doing, we did a little bit of this early in the year. We traveled the Panhandle, went through Arkansas, went through Texas, and just looked at different towns, because both of us work from home at this point, especially after this pandemic. She's a fashion designer doing wonderful things. And so we can both work at really anywhere in the world. But we've narrowed it down at least somewhat to the next 3 cities in the next 3 months. And so we're going to spend a month down in Clearwater and St. Pete's in Florida, then a month around in the Charleston area, then a month in Austin. And probably on our way from Charleston to Austin, we'll stop on the West Bank. Stop on the East Bank, like Slidell and Covington and Mandeville and all that, because we know that little area is kind of growing and getting popular. And I haven't been there in years, so I really want to check that out. And then we're going to go to Austin. So we really have these next months just to drive and ride and kind of vibe with the city and see what speaks to us.
Wow, that's cool, man. Nothing screams no kids like that plan.
Yeah.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Chef, I noticed your show Duck Camp Dinners has awesome production value and just as a really cool piece of kind of independent work. I know you're working with Mossy Oak on it, but what's been your biggest surprise or biggest challenge in working to create your own independent content?
Well, that is a great question. I just want to yes, I'm working with Mossy Oak on it, and I just want to clarify just a little bit. Mossy Oak, Yeti, Spiceology, and Maker's Mark have been just wonderful contributors of the show. However, Split Reed Media House is the guys that I hired to make this show, and they come from a waterfowl background, but they would start developing, and they take great waterfowl photos and work with a bunch of lodges for doing lodge videos. And they created this production company called Split Reed Media House. And I said, and we had been talking for about a year about this project. And when the time came down to it to like choose, we just had a chemistry, and they had resources on the waterfowl side. And I had resources on film and food. And I had this idea about the duck cam that we wanted to share. So really my point to all that, huge shout out to them for that production value. They are incredible, young, hungry, digital video guys, and they're really killing it. And just a shout out to Daniel Bagby, the director, for really pushing that edit on. That's awesome. As far as myself, when I was the executive chef of Blue Smoke in New York, I did a ton of live things with Good Morning America, Fox and Friends, different cooking seminars, like on stages for different food festivals and so on. And I got really good talking in front of a camera, talking in front of a crowd, teaching recipes and cooking, really comfortable doing that. And the more I just got on camera, the more of these ideas I had, and saying, man, I really wish we could tell this story. It's such a great story. It involves food, it involves culture, it involves a lifestyle that people don't really get to see unless you're from there. And how can I do that? And once you especially living in New York and working in some video already, you start to make those connections and get into the circles of these production companies and networks and digital media and so on, which has allowed me a lot, my web to grow and to really find the right people for right projects. And I think that's really how it started. Instagram helps as well. I've gotten a healthy following there, and you can produce great videos with your phone or with a decent camera, and then a laptop and Instagram, and you can put that on everywhere. Of course, YouTube and Facebook as well. So I think I like my food, right, that I cook every day. I'm a great chef. Like, I can cook my ass off. I don't know if I can say it. I can cook my butt off.
Hell yeah. There's that Louisiana pride. They don't know nothing about up in New York. Chef Jean Paul's a dog, baby.
I can cook my butt off, and I can edit video decent at best. But I was really wanting to create video that I could be proud of, that Louisianans could be proud of, that chefs could be proud of. And in a lot of ways, you got to find the right people who are hungry and can do that really well. And that's just what I've been lucky enough to be surrounded with, a bunch of great video guys and video men and women and producers that really have a vision from behind the lens and onto the post-production.
So you've lived all over. You've lived in France, St. Martin, San Francisco, New York, all the places in between. Where has been your favorite, strictly as a place to live, and which has been your favorite for food?
Favorite for food has to be New York. We went to one of our favorite restaurants, Ada, which is an Indian cantina in Queens, last night. And I literally, guys, I came close to shedding a tear because I knew it was going to be the last time I got to eat there for a while. And it is by far my favorite restaurant in the city, just because every time I go there, everything, even though I get kind of the same things and order something new, it always tastes like the first time I'm tasting it. And I don't know, like, how many times, like, I don't have kids, but I know when the first time they eat a banana and their eyes light up and they're like, oh my God, what is this? Right. That's kind of how I am at Ada all the time,
What a compliment to that restaurant.
Yes.
I'm going to miss it dearly. That's for sure. I get emotional just thinking about it right now. Wow. The best place to live, and I'm excluding like Louisiana out of that question.
Yeah, not Louisiana because you're from here.
Okay,
and we all know that.
Yeah,
we all know that.
Yeah, that just obviously is in a league of its own in forms of both of those things, living there and eating there. But when you say living, I would probably say St. Thomas. I'm a beach guy, and in my soul, the ocean is balm for my soul, and I love it. And better go to the beach from 9 to 12 in the morning, and then go to work in the kitchen. It was a wonderful 14 months. I probably lost a few years of my life from partying. It was a great party place too. So I got no regrets at all. But that was a wonderful place to live.
Do you speak French?
I speak a little French. My dad was fluent French. My Papa Bourgeois, Mama Bourgeois, who are from St. Charles and the Raceland areas, only spoke Cajun French. I got a little bit of it. I took French in high school and obviously went to France. I needed to learn some. Mm-hmm. But now at this point, so I worked in an Italian restaurant in New York for over 2 years. And so what happens to me now is like, when I speak any different language, I'll mix Italian, French, and Spanish because it's such a Spanish language culture in New York. And so it's really weird. And so the answer is no, really, to your question. But I like to say a little bit.
Long story short, no.
Chef, make sure that you follow Chef. His website is incredible. It's JeanPaulBourgeois.com to find out about Duck Camp dinners, to find out about his story, and to find out how just where he comes from Louisiana. We're down in South Louisiana doing this show, and we're very prideful Louisianians, as is the chef. We'd love to have you back on. There's not enough minutes, it feels like, in this interview. I'll get you out of here on this one. You got one meal to cook to impress anyone, whether it's family, any members of politics, sports, anywhere. What's your go-to meal? What are you cooking?
I'm going with my duck à l'orange, the dish I cooked in episode 2 of Duck Camp Dinners. It'll change anybody's mind about wild game and teach most people how to cook wild game a different way and a better way, which I've come to learn from hunting all over the United States is an issue. And so, yeah, I would say from episode 2, Duck Camp Dinners, 1, 2, and 3 are out, but 4, 5, and 6 are on the way. And episode 4 drops this Sunday on the 21st. So we're excited about that.
Let's go.
I have one last question. So I won't pretend that I do any cooking or that I do anything in the kitchen other than supervise. But I do know there's a lot of talk amongst people who do cook things about tomatoes and gumbo, and it's incredibly polarizing. So are you a tomato or no tomato gumbo guy?
Wow.
I am a no tomato gumbo guy.
I think that's the right answer, right?
I think that exists a lot in not just New Orleans because of the Creole inputs into the culinary food, to the culinary side of gumbo, but also Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, everywhere outside Louisiana tends to put tomato in their gumbo, I find, and New Orleans kind of introduces it from a Creole side. The Cajuns, the really kind of that devout Cajun culture, I-10 and below, that Cajun coastline. I don't ever recall tomatoes in my gumbo growing up or through potluck dinners, church dinners, and so on. And I don't know. I feel like that's your best resource for if that answer.
That's right.
What's your answer on that?
You don't dust your crawfish, do you?
I do not dust my crawfish.
Chef. Love this guy. Love this guy. Yes, indeed, Chef. It is a pleasure to speak with you. Congratulations on all your success. And you make sure that you follow him on Instagram. Hit him on Instagram, Jean Paul Bourgeois. His social media is fantastic on YouTube. Keep up with Duck Camp Dinners. Let's do this again, please.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me on. Anytime, I'm coming on the show. I love hanging with y'all.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you, Chef.
All
Safe
right.
travels.
Have a good day. Good morning. See y'all.
Yes,
Bye.
sir. There he is, checking in from New York City. How about that
Love
guy?
that guy.
That was great.
How about Chef?
So,
That was great.
Shout out to our listeners
Yeah, that was great.
for putting us on that guy.
Yes, absolutely. Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders. Remember, check out the podcast. If you missed any of that conversation with Chef Bourgeois, you can check it out in its entirety. Brought to you by RMB Builders. Wherever you get your podcast at, Apple, anywhere that you can get the Jordy Culotta Show podcast, and that is brought to you by Rhett Bourgeois. He is a custom home builder. He's also commercially licensed, and you can find him online at rmb-builders.com. LSU Baseball preview with their hitting coach, Eddie Smith, when we come back here on the Jordy Culotta Show. That was fantastic. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Can you be assured that the air and surfaces in your home are clean, sanitized, and safe for you and your entire family? You can now by logging on to Valera.com/Jordy Culotta, where you, your home, your office, your family can be protected 24/7 with active pure technology. This NASA-based science has proven 99.9% reduction of airborne SARS-2 and COVID-19 virus in just 3 minutes. Log on now to Valera.com/Jordy Culotta.
The Jordy Culotta Show merchandise site is live. Shirts, hats, and even swag for the children is available at jordy.itemorder.com. That's jordy.itemorder.com.
Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers. All over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. LSU Baseball getting set for weekend number 1. I swear they're going to play. I promise they're going to play. We've been teased a little bit. First, it was Friday night, 7 o'clock. Then Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Now it's going to be Saturday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Air Force on Saturday. Notre Dame on Sunday. Louisiana Tech on Monday as the Tigers get set for another season here at the box. Last year, it was wiped out due to the pandemic. And LSU played about 3 weeks, and we mentioned this. There was no sport affected more than college baseball by COVID, right? I mean, 3 weeks, then washed out, not an off season. You don't get fall ball, true fall ball, and now here even to start the season, you're dealing with some delays. One of the guys that I thought about was hitting coach Eddie Smith. Last year in his first season, he was in Baton Rouge, and everybody knows the pressure of coming along with LSU baseball's hitting coach. He only gets 3 weeks, then they're wiped out and doesn't get a real off season. And now here he is going into year 2, and he's joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Coach, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Jordy, great to be on. How are you?
We're doing okay, man. We are looking forward to baseball season. We can't wait to be at the box. The weather, hopefully, over the next couple of weeks is going to start getting right. But I can't imagine the build-up that you have, Coach. We're just fans. We want to see you guys play. You are dialed into this thing every day with your handprints all over this lineup. How much are you looking forward to playing baseball, or at least coaching baseball this weekend?
Oh, we can't wait. I think for most everybody in this locker room, we haven't had a pause in our baseball careers this long since we started playing at 4, 5, 6 years old, or whatever age you start playing organized baseball. So whenever it is that they say play ball, it's looking like it'll be Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll be ready.
How do you spend this extended time away from the game with your players and getting them better? I know the day in, day out work that you guys do as baseball players is what has to happen for you guys to improve every day. But what do you do without the games like you've been presented with over the last year?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that we do development-wise in the cages and on the field. We were able to inter-squad scrimmage this year a lot longer and more than we ever have before, which I think that was really important because for so many of our players, the playing component of their development just got cut short last year. Mm-hmm. And, we had plenty of players who were freshmen and sophomores that, they need to play. And so, we had to be really creative. We had to try to simulate games as often as we could. We had to play as many games as we possibly could. I know that meant, for pitchers also, especially for those young guys, they were out there on the mound throwing more often and throwing longer outings than we would typically do in a fall and in a preseason, because we wanted to get that in-game competition going for our players.
How much has this pitching staff challenged this lineup this season or preseason to get ready? Because when we talk about this team, it's a little different. A lot of the conversations begin around the frontline pitching. How do you use that crew to improve you guys?
Yeah, Jordy, I'll tell you, in 2011, I was at the University of Virginia, and that pitching staff wound up leading the country in pitching that year. And I use that as a reference point because when I look down this staff, arm for arm, we're every bit as good, if not better, than that staff, in my opinion. And so what that does for our hitters, seeing that day in and day out, I think it prepares us for what's to come. We all know the challenge that is playing through an SEC schedule and the road to Omaha, and it's a matter of beating big-time arms. Well, we've had the opportunity to face those guys day in and day out since we started in the fall, and I think that'll be a huge help for our players, especially the young ones, as they get introduced to college baseball.
What has been the changes or what is the coaching changes that you've had to make with the game, whether it be the bats, whether it be the rules, the draft rules? How do you change your philosophy in coaching the game when you've dealt with the roster limitations, the changes in bats and everything that's going on around the game?
Well, I think one thing we share with our players all the time is the game doesn't change. The game doesn't change. And what I mean by saying that is that, hey, there might be some differences that come up, whether it's, say, a new roster and new protocols. All of our pitchers will be down in the bullpen now because of COVID, and the bat changes with testing that you mentioned. Little things here and there, but at the end of the day, it comes down to executing the pitch right in front of you. I'll always go back to the Bull Durham quote. It's a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, and you catch the ball. And that part of it, no matter if you're playing Little League or in the major leagues or here at LSU, that part doesn't change. If we can take care of that part, we'll be just fine.
How do you like the veterans on this team before we get to some of the new faces? You got some guys coming back. I felt like last year's recruiting class coach and Eddie Smith, LSU hitting coach, LSU Baseball's hitting coach, joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. I felt like we didn't get a chance to really be introduced to last year's new faces, and the one that stands out to me is Cade Doty, just because he's from the area. We were familiarized with him and watching him grow up. Ben McDonald coached him. But what do you like of the veteran group that you return coming in for the 21 season?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. Cade Doty, the hit doctor, he's now being called around the clubhouse. I think he's really elevated his game, and he came in obviously as a very prized recruit, a lot of hype around him. Numbers-wise, he got off to just an okay start last year, and I think when you really go back and you look at it, which we've had plenty of time to really go back and look at everything, and during the shutdown, the guy was on the barrel day in and day out last year. And I think over the course of 56 games, that evens itself out, and all of a sudden the numbers start to show. And when you look at what Cade did this summer, he went down and played in a league in Florida and hit 430-something. He's been our leading hitter all fall and all preseason in our scrimmages. I think you can see a lot of consistency out of Cade. And then, you talk about Cade Doty. Well, there's another Cade right next to him, Cade Beloso, who – I think he's going to be another anchor in our lineup, a guy who can drive runs in, a guy who can really put together a good at-bat. The guy really, really has a great eye at the plate. He gets on base via the walk. When they do put the ball in the zone, he hits the ball really hard. That's a really good combination. And then I think that two guys to really keep an eye on, Giovanni DiGiacomo led us last year in that short season in hitting. I think he hit over 350. He's been hitting somewhere around 330 or something like that in our preseason and fall scrimmages. He hit over 300 at Cape Cod after his freshman year of college. the guy puts up numbers, and we're hoping that can continue. And then I think the other guy to keep an eye on is Gavin Dugas, who last year he led us in home runs and OPS. He just hits balls harder than anybody else, more consistent than anybody else.
You mentioned Beloso. How does his body changing? We talked to some people around the program that said he's really paid an emphasis or paid attention in changing his body going into year 3. How does that change his approach at the plate, or does it?
I don't know if there's a huge change in his approach. I think what his body change allows him to do is maybe be more consistent with that approach. I think he's just gotten into really good shape, lean, limber, electric, and so what I think that allows him to do is just to be able to repeat what he's trying to do more consistently and more often. At the end of the day, in the game of baseball, it's all about consistency.
Dylan Cruz, we heard all about him in the offseason. What a get for Nolan Cain, the recruiting staff, of getting him on campus. Once you get him in the cage, what do you see?
I see tools that, are as good as I've ever been around. And,
wow.
It's the bat speed is in a class of its own. It's on the barrel quite a bit. He's really made some strides in understanding what it takes to face college pitching. That challenge day in, day out. When these kids are on these high school travel circuits, they face some really good arms, more so than ever before. They're compiling the best players in certain locations, more than they ever did, certainly 20 years ago when I was playing high school baseball. But still, there's something to be said for facing elite SEC pitching day in and day out. And so Dylan's done a really good job in understanding that. He comes in with a maturity about himself where he carries himself much more like a veteran than a rookie. When your most talented players, when your most hyped players are also your hardest workers, I think it sets a really good tone for the whole team.
What about the rest of this class? He's the outlier. He's the headliner, which everybody talks about, but it seems like it's filled with athletes, whether it's Brody Drost, whether it's Will Safford, whether it's Trey Morgan. How do you see this freshman class making an impact here on a very talented and deep team?
Yeah, this freshman class, it's something that really gets you excited. When you coach at a place like LSU, these are the kind of players that excite you about getting to coach at a place like this, because you're going to get to work with some of the best talent in the country. And so, I think you're going to see a lot out of Trey Morgan, just a guy who, he's got a little bit of the it factor in his bat when he goes to the plate. And you can't teach it, but when those lights come on, the stars come out. And Trey really showed his ability to do that all fall. And, he's a guy who really puts the bat on the ball, has a good feel for the zone, doesn't chase much. And I think that'll be a big, big addition to our lineup. And then you mentioned Will Safford. That guy comes with an energy that is just it's unique. It's different. It's an outlier. And, we all feed off of that. I'll be honest with you. There's certain days where, you're going through practice and all of a sudden you see Will Safford run through a wall and you just get so excited. It just elevates the energy for everybody to a different level. So that's an awesome thing that he brings to this team, is versatility. He's a tough out at the plate. He's got a lot more power than he looks like he has, although he still needs to maintain that line drive approach as a hitter. He still has the ability to hit the ball to the wall, and every once in a while go over the wall. And, he's got some versatility in his game, which is exciting. And then, the last guy I would say as a freshman to talk about individually is a guy named Jordan Thompson, freshman infielder out of San Diego. He's really been coming on with his bat. If you look at what he's done the last 2 weeks of fall, he kind of turned this corner, and he had a really good preseason with our scrimmages. And hoping he can continue to develop and progress, because I think his future is really, really bright.
Coach, you got a matchup on Sunday with Notre Dame, and you're quite familiar with that program, having played there and coached there. Does that give you any insight into the opponent or give us an edge at all?
I don't know that there's any edge or insight other than, I do certainly have great memories of being a player there and coaching there. But when the lights come on and the umpire says play ball, you put in your work, you put in your preparation, you want to have an understanding of the opponent so that you might be able to take advantage of, something that a pitcher might do or something like that with the scouting report. But at that point, it becomes all up to what you do as a player,
Sure.
at what you do as a team. And, I've always been a big believer that the opponent is nameless and faceless. And certainly you use information, to get a scouting piece. But, hey, when they say play ball, it's just going to be another team in that dugout, and we got to find a way to beat them.
How confident or how much in stone is the lineup at this point? I'm not asking for you to give it to me, but how confident do you feel in 1 through 9 right now?
Well, I think there's a lot of excitement around the guys for sure. I think there still are a couple of positions that, are uncertain. I think that we're going to have a couple of weeks where a couple of positions are going to be, tinkered with a little bit, where we're going to try different guys, give different guys opportunities. And, just like every season, I think that the cream always rises in baseball. And, I think that once we start maybe week 3, week 4, week 5, certainly we'll have a much better idea of a solidified lineup.
You've played this game. You've coached this game for a long time. You've got a great reputation within the sport. Have you been able to experience what it's like to coach at LSU, or from your point of view, is it different being a coach at LSU? I know that you haven't had a full year and season and seen the box with 9,000 people on a Sunday or a Saturday, but do you get the feel when you just wear the colors and represent the program that it's a little different out there on the trail or out in the streets?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, LSU is the pinnacle of college baseball. When you're not at LSU, you wish you were at LSU, and when you're at LSU, you're really thankful you're here. And I even had a little bit of a personal connection for what it's worth. My middle school and my high school were both purple. So as a kid growing up in the state of Washington, half a country away, LSU was always the SEC team that I rooted for in the SEC. And so I just think it's such a special place. And I hope that sooner than later it returns to what we know is normal, with packed crowds and the excitement of 12,000 person standing room only crowd in the box. But we know that, whatever the crowd might be, we've got the state of Louisiana behind us, all eyes on us, and we can be a big inspiration for everybody who's such big fans of us. Need motivation there.
Coach Eddie Smith with a couple of minutes here with us on the Jordy Culotta Show, going into opening weekend at the box. Saturday will be game 1 between LSU and Air Force. Game 2 on Sunday versus Notre Dame, then Louisiana Tech on Monday night. Coach, it is great to speak with you. Can't wait to watch your group play. Thank you for the time this morning.
Hey, Jordy, I sure appreciate it. Go Tigers.
Yes, sir. There he is. Eddie Smith checking in from LSU Baseball this morning as the Tigers get prepared for game 1 this weekend. It's finally feels like it's kind of getting close, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this thing for a long time.
The weather's throwing me off.
Yeah, it's gonna be a couple of weeks. It's gonna be a couple of weeks. Even though I saw a future forecast for next week, it says it's gonna be 75 on Tuesday.
Are you a big weather guy now?
When it's like this, I am.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just trying to get the hell out of this. I'm just trying to get the hell
You're
out
like
of
my
here.
dad, who can tell me what temperature it's going to be at any given hour of the day.
Yeah.
8 p.m. It's 74.
It's like the which commercials are those we were talking about? I love them. The
Progressive?
The progressive ones. Yeah.
Nobody needs to know what time you woke up.
A girl with pink hair walks by and they're like, "Don't look.
Don't do it.
Don't do
We all
it."
see it.
Everybody sees it.
We all
Everybody
see
sees
it.
it.
We all see it.
She's got pink hair. Remember, we're brought to you by AdvantaClean, online at advantaclean.com. And this time of the year, man, with the rain and with what's happening with the ice, if you see leaks on your roof, you see water stains, you see mold, you smell fire, that's the deal. AdvantaClean can take care of that. Water, fire, mold. If you got it, just get in touch with our friend Bradley Lynch over at AdvantaClean. Once you make that call and establish contact with Lynch, you're out of the way. He's going to take care of everything from there. He'll work directly with the insurance company. He'll make sure everything's happening on the site. He'll come in, diagnose the problem. I tell you about it all the time, but it's a really powerful testimony. I sent him a picture on Christmas morning, just expecting him to maybe text me before the weekend got out. He texted me right back on Christmas Day. He was at my house 45 minutes later on Christmas Day, looking at a water stain that I had, and he said, look, it was just something that came through on an air condition replacement. He had diagnosed it, got it fixed, and it's done. Just like that. It's very easy. Get in touch with Bradley Lynch over at Advanaclean. Water, fire, mold. If you see it, smell it. If you see it around the house, get in touch with Bradley Lynch over at Advanaclean. Next, we answer your questions. If you have them, hashtag Ask the Jordy Culotta Show, Ask the JC Show. Get your questions in next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers. All over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the Southdown Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at rmb-builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com.
You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show with Rivers Huey, presented by Go Chevrolet.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show on YouTube. Live on this Thursday morning, presented by Go Chevrolet. Got a good deal coming. A Jordy Culotta Show special from Go Chevrolet being served up by the boys, Lee Carney and Nick Richard.
We got Lloyd nervous back there. We'll show you a picture of it.
You know what I'm talking about, Lizzie. Good show today, man. Shout out to Jean Paul Bourgeois.
Dude.
What a great
Chef.
Louisianian.
How about Chef, man?
The man. And then Eddie Smith giving us some good insight on that lineup, man. I'm looking forward to seeing Cade Beloso. It seems like he's pretty high on Beloso going into the season. Can't wait to see that. More high praised for the freshman, Dylan Cruz.
When people talk about Cruz, they don't just talk about him. They're gushing about him.
He's got the
every
Bregman.
time.
He's got the Bregman type of appeal. I mean, I remember when Bregman got on campus, you would talk to guys like Nolan Kane and even like Doug Thompson who'd go out there and watch him, and they'd be like, Coach, I mean, this guy is... He's a first rounder. He's not supposed to be here.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not supposed to be playing on this level. And I think that's kind of been the difference over the last decade in college baseball, is that but some of the guys that have in years past made the decision to go. I mean, Mississippi State's seen that a lot. Yep. Guys that have been drafted that end up going to school.
Well, they want to go. They want to go to school.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is
Florida.
fine. Yeah.
I mean, but you're giving up. I mean, somebody's got. I mean, Mo Hampton gave up $1.2 million. You know how hard it is to stare $1.2 million in the face at 18 and say, "Nah, I'm good. I'm going to college for free."
I wouldn't.
Would you consider that okay? So would you consider that like dumb or responsible?
Well, it depends.
Which is it more?
It sounds like Mo Hampton bet on himself,
Yeah.
which I'll never.
I love that.
I love that.
I love that.
Right? I mean, I love that play.
Because let's say
But you're turning down $1 million too.
You're turning down $1 million too.
Yeah, but the lifestyle's so different. Whenever you go, you get that $1 million too, but you're on a bus every day eating a ham and cheese
Zach
sandwich.
Von Rosenberg.
Yes.
Zach Von Rosenberg was the first-round pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates out of Zachary High School. Made a ton of money on a signing bonus, but will tell you every single day he'd rather be walking around LSU's campus wearing LSU gear, being a part of the student-athlete culture on a college campus than dealing with buses, 2-star hotels,
Right. And we've talked about this.
Bag lunches every day.
Baseball is just a different sport to be drafted into. Like the process, your process is so different. You know, you have to go through AA, AAA. You have to do the whole thing. It's not like in the NFL or the NBA. So I mean, it's a different thing to imagine being drafted and having to go through all that when you could just go to a campus and everyone loves you and you're going to college for free. It's a different vibe.
Just how good guys like Bregman is. I mean, he just flies
flew
through
into it,
the
yes.
minor league system, and he's batting second and playing third for the world champions, and hitting bombs and making plays.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's not everyone's story.
it doesn't happen like that.
You know?
They
Dated a guy who signed for $1 million out of high school instead of taking a Florida in Alabama,
and it didn't go good.
No.
So I mean, Katie's got an ex-boyfriend out of high school that accepted the $1 million. And did not go to college, and it didn't work out. So I mean, I think there's cautionary tales, and there's examples.
Probably more stories like that.
I would say so.
Than your Bregman
I would say
stories.
so.
Yeah,
for sure. But Bregman is different because Bregman's now a success story because he went to college. But I still think that even out of high school, because the story goes that Bregman broke his thumb his senior year, and that schools told him that we don't want to take a first-round pick, and he said before the draft, if you do not draft me in the first round, I'm telling you right now, do not waste a pick on me. I'm not coming.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I'm going to LSU.
Right.
If you do not draft me in the first round, don't worry about me. I mean, that's betting on yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No
That's
doubt.
saying, I got me. I believe in me. Y'all don't want to mess with me. That's fine. I'll be there someday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and someone in the bunker said 42 minor league teams have been shut down. How will that improve college baseball moving forward? Well, I mean,
a lot.
You're seeing this year, we're going to have the most talent on the college baseball field that we've ever had.
Yeah. Patrick Kimmery, not all ball players are getting full rides. Well, I mean, college baseball, the scholarship system's a joke.
It's weird. It's
It's
really
a joke. I think they have like 11.8
you
full
get
rides.
that half a man.
11.8.
Yeah.
It's so
Sign somebody
weird.
under 5'5", he gets a full scholarship.
So weird.
Hey, I'm in, bro.
Jordy?
I'm in.
I'm in. Why not? What else we got going on? Whitney Bros coming in here in a couple of minutes to tell us about the Day 18 Foundation. We're answering your questions here on the JC Show. Remember, tomorrow we'll be giving away, hopefully we'll be shooting for a $250 gift card.
That'd be
Harper's
great
Haberdashery
showing
has
in this
not
room.
been a good. It's not been good warm-ups, but we're gamers here. We're gamers.
But they probably love
Turn
that.
the lights on. Once the lights are, we're playing for real. We'll probably go 5 for 5 tomorrow. We'll probably go 5
It's
for
like
5.
Coach said,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
At $1,200 of giveaways for Sammy Harper.
Umpires let us
For
play
Sammy
ball.
Willard here on the. All right, any questions? 11.7 scholarship.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
got a
Nick.
couple.
Sorry,
No, you're good. Hilton Guidry. Hashtag Ask the JC Show. What about the NCAA bracket challenge? Y'all gonna set up one of those for the bunker?
Nick. We are in. We are in. We got our title sponsor on it, Just Winging It. Shout out to Just Winging It. We will be there. That will be our headquarters for March Madness, and Rivs is workshopping what our bracket is going to, where it's going to come from, but there will be
where
one.
it's going to live, but we will definitely have a bracket challenge. We're just working on getting that link to you so you can all sign up.
And now I have a bracket guy. After my foray into the squares, I know I got the
Bam.
plug for the
We
bracket.
got a bracket guy.
Yeah.
We
got a guy.
We got a guy.
We got a
Easy.
guy. All right.
Jeff Marcone. Hashtag Ask the JC Show. Soupy or thick brown gumbo? And potato salad or rice?
I kind of, I like it. They thick. Yeah, right. I mean,
So that with a little conviction.
I never got into the potato salad thing. I'm sure it's great.
I've never been a potato salad guy.
You know what the trick is?
Prefer the rice.
Sweet potato.
Ooh, gross.
No, that's what my mother does, and it's
That's what
great.
my mother
Want a
does.
gumbo
Yeah.
Lily.
with it, yeah.
Compliments of Lily.
I don't like sweet potatoes, so that's I'm an out.
Yeah, but I do like the potato salad, and I like it because I like the sop, bro.
Yeah. I love a
I like
sop.
the scoop.
I love a sop.
I like the scoop with the bread, the crackers, and I like to have a little substance on the cracker and the bread, so I like it.
You got to scoop. You got to scoop. I mean, my friend Christian Petrie makes an awesome gumbo, and it's a little bit on the soupy side, but it's like a chicken and sausage side, and it's my favorite gumbo ever. And I do rice and I do the soupy. That's my
rice
gumbo.
Rice is a
must.
Is a must.
Oh well, yeah.
Rice is a must.
Unless you're Tyler Shelvin trying to lose some lb.
Then you got soup.
Yeah, you got your keto.
Michael J. Kleber, hit us up. Hashtag Ask the JC Show. By the way, if you guys still want to ask us some questions, I'm monitoring that chat. He says, will we be having a JC Show gathering at the box at some point this season? Not sure why he put it in quote marks.
Which part did he put it in quotes?
He's
the box?
The box.
No. Maybe a tin roof pregame?
Yeah, for sure. We could work that out. We will. I mean, it's just COVID. You know, I don't know where we can gather, but as soon as we can gather, we will. We also have talked about doing some happy hours. I know Jordy talked about it. Switching up places. We got to come up with a place and a time and a day. But we will be inviting you guys, and we'll figure out how that works.
Absolutely. We are, Katie and I have had really good discussions with Beauvoir Park here in town, which in my opinion, and I'm super biased, I grew up on that property.
That place is great.
It's the best. It's the best place in the city of Baton Rouge to experience.
The box.
Yeah, right. Thick box experiments. Let's get the hell out of here.
What are we doing?
But live music, it's become the spot for live music. I think they're trying to turn it into a little bit of a social hangout where you can go there and but Building 5 is right there. K Street is right there. It's just a really good vibe of the city. Once the sun comes back out, the Merchant's right there. The Giulio Brothers is right there. Ivar's. Once the sun comes back out and everybody starts moving around again, we will be out in public and be accessible, inviting you guys out. We love the face-to-face interaction.
Yeah, that's great.
We want the face-to-face interaction, but we also appreciate you being inside of the bunker and being with us on YouTube.
Did you see? I know they do a lot of events out there at Beauvoir Park, but one recently that started that I haven't been able to get out there, and by the time I realized about that it was going on, it just got cold. But they've been doing a Sunday soul thing.
Yes.
Ooh.
And I think it starts at 2 p.m.
Yep.
And they have like different bands coming up.
I've seen it. Because their social media is fire.
So people come, the pictures I saw, one of my friends went out there. She brought a blanket, her kids. Yeah. She had snacks for them. She bought a bottle of wine for she and her husband. Like, they just hung out, listened to some soul music, and then went about their day on a Sunday.
It's a great spot.
Yes.
It's a great spot.
They do free yoga out there also. On I don't know if it's Wednesday or Thursday, but they do that. Like they're doing all sorts of events.
Jay Hover is the guy that's been out there heading that up, and he's been doing a fantastic job. Him and Leslie Bratton. That's Les Bratton's spot.
Been a hot topic today, but Josh Higgins asked it in particular. Why is Jordy now in the chair?
Yes, answer that for people. People that stole your spot.
Very hot
So
topic today.
I actually hijacked Rivers' spot on Monday morning. Rivers, we made an executive decision when we saw that the weather was coming through. She needed to get back to her kids, back to the family, so she didn't get trapped at the undisclosed location way out in the sticks. And we were just kind of like, why not? I'll just grab her seat, see what happens. It felt like I was at therapy. It felt like I was seeing my therapist, where I was just opening up. I felt very vulnerable, and it turned out to be an okay show. It turned out to be pretty good.
Like it was just okay.
So Rivers' criticism is that I look like an elf in the chair, that I actually sink in, and once I become more comfortable, I kind of become smaller, which I agree with.
The body gets shorter, but
we
the
gotta
legs
figure
get
out
longer.
how to get you higher up here.
Yes, and that will be the risers, hopefully, that we put on the chair. But we will still keep the guest here. I don't know. I think that the vibe's a little bit better like this. You tell us. We're just, we're experimenting. That's where that came from. We're experimenting.
I just got the call from Jordy, and he's like pitching me like, this might sound crazy.
Ribs, are you sitting down right now? Are you sitting down right now? Are the kids asleep, Ribs?
What's wrong?
Yeah.
What are we about to do here? What if we switch chairs?
I mean, I guess, bro. Cool. I'll see you tomorrow.
Are you sitting down because I am in your chair?
That's right.
JJ Pickett's curious about a spring flag football thing and when it's starting up.
Yes, we are. We're practicing right now. The Baton Rouge
is?
Bruins.
Who is we?
Yes. Went out on the recruiting trail in the offseason, and Culotta hit a couple of home runs, boys. Took the safety from the best team in the league last year, who we beat in the championship. And Carson Nichols. Shout out to young Carson, who is going to play wide receiver and safety for the Bruins. And we start playing on the first Friday in March.
Cannot
It'll be the
wait
first
to come
game
watch
over
this.
at... We'll be over at Traction, over at Traction Sports for the Spring Flag Football League. Defending champs are back, baby. We're coming back.
Weatherman Jay's back on the clock.
Wait, is
All
this
right.
like a
Get your
is this
mind
an
right.
ancient athletes thing?
No. This is kids.
Oh, kids.
This is
Oh,
kids.
sorry.
It's
I thought
coaching.
you were playing.
Coaching. No,
I thought
I
you
might
were
as well be.
playing. Oh, God.
Might as well be.
Jordy's the agent in the corner recruiting other kids.
That's right.
Like, why don't you come to the parking lot real quick?
Always,
Yeah.
always. I met someone, and
talk to your
now I wish
dad.
I could remember his name. But
Give me the story. I can probably tell you his name.
Halloween, we just did like a street thing with the kids,
Yeah.
you know, and we're outside, and so this group of people from another street rolled up on their with their trailer, and a dad was like, "Oh, you're Rivers, like you worked with Jordy," and I guess they play football or basketball,
football,
I don't
yeah.
know, but he was like, Jordy's out here recruiting kids. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. They beat us, but it's only because he cheats.
That's
and so I was
you're
like,
right.
that sounds right.
I'll tell you what, it's very comfortable over here in the championship seat. Feels good. All this jewelry is beautiful, man.
Down.